songs.
Pretty sure we're not even supposed to be here. No lights, no people. It's a waste of time. I'm gonna drive a half an hour just to come to your stage show. There's nobody here.
I'm Cheddar.
Dirt Burger.
Mervyn Dunkel.
And we're the Kazoos.
I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Matt, who's doing this video. Great documentarian. I'm sure it's going to look beautiful. Looked like it was a much bigger audience than we're used to.
Good acoustics.
Seemed into the performance. Yeah,
It's probably
good
our
stuff.
best show.
Good
Best
stuff.
turnout
Very
we've
good.
ever had.
Stop.
It's my sister. She thinks we're number one.
Kazoo more or less to me means, you know, I just chicks, you know. I played guitar for many years and there was not a lot of chicks around.
How would you describe the kazoo?
Sensual, like a porpoise.
I mean, it's just the most pure instrument like out there. I mean, how can you not like the kazoo, like the sound, like how can you not enjoy that sound? Ever since I was an infant crawling around on the floor, I was always kind of picking stuff up and putting it towards my mouth and stuff. And then eventually my mother just put a kazoo in my hand. I met Mervyn Dunker, who was also a fellow kazooist, enthusiast, and everything. And we just got to talking, and we thought it'd be fun to have a jam session.
I was a pretty sickly child. Got sick a lot. Got beat up a lot. Had a lot of sort of nervous conditions, and my parents were very insistent that I learn a musical instrument of some kind, but I couldn't handle blowing into anything because I would sort of asphyxiate myself. There was a kazoo sitting in front of me, and suddenly everything in my life, everything in my life made sense. I knew what I had to do with my life, and it was play the kazoo.
So where did the idea for the kazoo band come from?
That came from Chet, as I remember. He was very insistent that we take our operation on the road, as they say, and that took us through several different iterations. We started out as the kazoo-o, sort of folk kazoo players, and then we felt that didn't have enough pizzazz, and that we should become a kazoo cover band. So we changed our name to the Hitlers because we played all the hits. HIT-LERS. And for whatever reason, I was never quite sure why, we weren't able to get gigs with that particular name. Chet felt that it might be good if we had a kind of sex symbol for the group. And this kid, Dirt, had been, I guess, sort of hanging around behind his house for about a month, scrounging things out of the trash. It just seemed natural. I mean, he basically was living at Chet's house anyway, and we were afraid that he might be carrying a knife or an incendiary device of some kind. So we felt that to pacify him, we should just allow him to become part of the group. And it was at that point that we decided that we should become the Kazooms, because we had exhausted basically every other kazoo-related pun at that point.
It's all about the after party, That's what I always say. One time we had alcohol present. Let me tell you, I got really sick and it wasn't a lot of fun.
You have a very sort of interesting technique with your kazoo solos. You don't seem to play a whole lot.
I find that the notes that are not played are what really hit people. You know, right here. Right around there. I'm not too fond of the roadie. He doesn't have a lot of work to do. It's not a hard job.
15 minutes. You got it. Nice hat. What do you?
$5 an hour.
I like his hat though. It's cool.
The Kazooms, they're the greatest band in the whole world. I mean, they're gonna Kazoom right to #1. Like, when they get that break, it's just like Macklemore. They've had agents approach them and be like, hey, Kazooms, come Kazoom with us. Like, you know, like, let's make it big. And then they're like, who are you? Chet is so, like, he's not mainstream. And, like, they're not just gonna take any offer that they get to Kazoom to the top. Like, they're just gonna Kazoom right up there. Kazoom to the moon. That's gonna be the title of their first album. I told them that one time. I said, hey, Chet. Except I was yelling across the room because I'm respecting the restraining order. I said, hey, Chet. And I think he said, what? I think that's what he said back to me. But he was on stage, so he could have just been singing through his kazoo. But I think he said, what? And I said, you're gonna Kazoom to the moon. It sounds like an album title to me. Chet! Chet! Oh my God! Chet! I'm so excited to see you! Oh, close the door! Give me his kazoo! Give me his kazoo! I got it! Ah! I'm not a stalker. I go to every show. I'm not a stalker. I mean, I drive hundreds of miles out of the way to see him play his kazoo every time. And I like to sit outside and listen to him play the kazoo sometimes at night when I've been drinking and driving around town trying to find him. That's not being a stalker, though. I mean, it's normal. Like, isn't that what everyone does when they're in love with someone? There's movies about this stuff. The thing with the radio above his head, you know, classic icon. I did that one time because it worked for him in the movie. John Cusack, totally worked for him. I'm John Cusack. That's who I am to Chet Harvey. Chet, don't scream. Don't run away. I have to talk to you. Just a sec. I'm stuck. Okay. Chet. Damn it! Chet, don't run away. Chet. What? I have to talk to you.
What are you doing in there?
I really wanted to talk to you. This isn't working for me anymore.
Okay.
Can I come out and talk to you?
No. A little bit more fill-in.
Okay.
Okay. So pick it up from the second.
Verse.
Yep, second verse.
Same as the first.
And here we go. 1, 2,
Yeah, we talked to Mervyn Dunkel's sister, who drives the band around, and she said you're a freeloader. And, you don't really.
Yeah, she's a bitch. But I like her. She's got a good attitude.
He's 4 years older than me. He doesn't have a job, doesn't have a license. He spends all his time focusing on his art. So of course, me being the only one with the license, my parents make me drive him everywhere. It's so unfair. Chet used to come over and they'd practice for hours on end, and I swear, like, the whole first hour of it, they'd be like tuning their kazoos. It's a kazoo. The kazoo is not out of tune. You are out of tune, idiots.
What do you say to a German kazooist who sneezes? Kazoo tight. What do you call a bunch of cows in captivity? A Kazoo? Knock, who's there? Kazoo. Exactly.
I mean, the kazoo is the most beautiful sound in the world, except for a baby laughing. But they're similar noises if you think about it.
Why did the kazoo cross the road illegally? Because he was in the jaywalker's pocket. What do you call a zebra that can play the kazoo? Talented. The old Babbitt and Goodfellow routine. Kazoo's on first.
Where do you see the band in 10 years?
oh, I ain't doing this for 10 years. That's not happening.
I'm Pigman. I'm Pigman.